Once you've laid out your app, you need to switch on the storage. So if we select the app properties or click on the background here and scroll down, you'll see the storage section here. And in most cases, you probably want to set it to save instances and add to reporting. That means you can define queries on all of the fields, as opposed to save instances, which just does basic storage. So that has enabled storage for the app. The next thing you do is you need to specify which fields should be stored. By default, none of the fields will get stored. So for instance here are the simple company fields we're using, name. If I scroll to the top to the database section, you'll see store in database is set to true. So I've set that to true here, and I've also can set uniqueness within the database. So it's set unique but not case sensitive, and it's a required mandatory field. So these things will actually be enforced at the database level. So if other apps, as we'll see in a minute, other apps try to create data using CRUD functions, then this uniqueness or required fields will be enforced. So you switch on all of the fields that you need. So for instance, this one here, it's not stored because that's only showing data. The next thing, again, let's go back to the app properties, is the instance name. The instance name is a useful way of auto-generating a record name, if you like, and that can be then queried. So you can do compound expressions. If we click on here, this has just got the company name, but I could do slash and then another field, for instance, if it was first name slash last name, something like that. So that's worth setting, doesn't do any harm. And if you want to do queries which just pull out a compound field through the instance name, it's worth doing. You can also see it then when you're browsing data in the console. Makes it easier to recognize each instance. The next thing is application relationships. We'll talk about that in a different video. Integrity handling, that is how application craft should deal with an integrity error. So at the moment there's no automatic handling. That means I'm going to handle it in my JavaScript code. But if I want, I can have some automated highlighting and or messaging. If I'm using messaging, then this is the message that the application craft will display if the uniqueness or mandatory rules are breached. And the highlight, opacity and color, that's the highlight color around the fields should there be any integrity breaches. So in this particular case, just looking at our companies app, you can see we're storing these three fields here are being stored. Now if we go to the second page of this app, you remember we've got the contacts. Now here we've got an interesting situation because the contacts are actually part of another app. So these fields here are not being stored in the database. They're being loaded into here, and any updating is done using CRUD functions. So where do we define these fields, the field storage for contacts? Well, what we do is we simply create another app. So here we've got another app called CRUD Contacts, and this app here has no visual purpose. It's just used for the purpose of defining data storage. So if I click here and come down, you'll see that we've got the storage enabled, and these three fields have got their store in database set to true. Other than that, this app doesn't get used at all. There's nothing else that it does. It never gets seen. Everything is actually handled through the CRUD companies.